Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. Hopefully this will be a quick one. I keep trying, but it just doesn't work out. What about other diesels? So, a few general questions about what about other diesels and this and that. And someone mentioned territories, and people have mentioned ranges and talking about this and that. Well, when I say the 1KD last of the best, that's because I like the 1KD. I know it well. I think it's fairly straightforward. I suppose just because I understand it really well. I think it's a good engine. Now, it's a Toyota engine, so all the systems around it also very reliable, how they work, things like, supply pumps. At the end of the day, it's pretty simple. It's an engine that's got to have fuel supplied to it, right? So we know how the injectors work. They work really well. They don't last forever. They do wear out. The newer ones, they're going to last, like any, '09 onwards, replacement full DLCs, they're going to last a damn long time. But what about other diesels? So, like, you start mentioning other brands. We can go through a few. We probably should do a whole video where I actually write down the brands and we talk about. We hear a lot of bad news. Okay, so when someone mentioned territory, this is what the point that it got me to. The point I thought I should make is, if you need a diesel, why do you need a diesel? So, you need a diesel because, well, not everybody does. So some people maybe need to sell up. Prados are awesome vehicles. People love them. The drive of the diesel's awesome. Why do you need it? Well, if you're doing long outback trips, so, for example, here in Australia, when we're traveling the Australian outback, there's quite a lot of really remote places. And the Prado's good, A, in the diesel because of the economy, and B, because like the 120's got a 180 litre tank standard, which standard, so, people say, oh, but you can do this and you can do that. But you hear what I said? Standard reliability, guys. Reliability by having it original, not putting aftermarket tanks, which we've talked about that before. Maybe that's another video, aftermarket fuel tanks. We just hear a lot of bad news, okay? So I'm sure it doesn't always happen, but if you don't do them or have anything to do with them and rarely see them, and you hear about leaks and stuff and damage and leaks, then it's a sort of big percentage problem where there's so many hundreds of thousands or millions of Toyotas that don't have any problems with their fuel tanks, you know what I mean? So in generally speaking, in comparison. So diesel, it's the economy. It's, so you're going to do the canning stock route. Well, you're going to get a lot of it done. You're going to use a lot less fuel. If you've got to carry fuel in your car, on your roof, wherever you choose to do it, it is a lot safer and fairly safe to carry the extra diesel, where carrying unleaded is quite dangerous in so many ways, in or outside the vehicle, okay? Outside in the hot sun or inside where the fumes are in confined spaces. Not good, So this is the reasons why you would need or want a diesel, okay? If you're not touring, if you're not traveling distances, perhaps the diesel isn't for you. So it's not just about, I'm going to tell you to buy these. I'm telling you, these are the last of the best. But if you've got to think about, what about a territory diesel? It made me think, well, what the heck would you want a damn territory diesel for? Territory's got a piddly fuel tank. It's not going to take you the places a Prado's going to take you. It's not a proper four-wheel drive, okay? It's just an SUV type, Everybody needs to have an SUV. Everybody used to drive around Commodores and Falcons, and then they go, everyone seems to need a big, oversized vehicle, quite often more than what they need. And it's not good for the environment either, lugging around these big heavy cars. People should start looking at Camrys again and things like that. Good sized car. If you've got a family of no more than 5, you can fit everyone in, unless you are. And if you're going away quite a lot, and you need more room, then maybe, Klugers and things like that, There's your V6 again. Quite efficient, 10, 11, litres per 100 k's type thing, which is pretty good for the size of the vehicle. Even better if you can get a hybrid one or wait around for these sorts of vehicles. So what about the territory? Well, we've heard that the supply pumps fail, and we've heard that, they cost, like, people are getting $6,000, $7,000 bills for those. So I would say that's not cool, is it? People have told me how disappointed and upset they are about these things happening to them, okay? We don't work on them. We don't have them here in the workshop. And these are the things we hear about from happy Toyota owners that have other vehicles. So they've got all their bad news stories with the other vehicle. The other vehicle. There's always a story with the other vehicle. And while we're talking about Fords, the Rangers, I haven't got time. We said we'd keep it short. So we're not going to talk about these things. Now, people love their Rangers, nice, new, awesome, a lot of new cars. Everybody gets a new car. They think it's the best because it's new, right? It's still new. Toyotas are the best. They're still the best, okay? Now, what about other diesels? Good luck. If you've got to have another, why would you go to another diesel? I can't understand how, I just don't have that understanding why you would go to another vehicle. Okay, let's go to a Isuzu. What about an MUX? Or if you want the cheaper standard car, you know, mechanically, yeah, they're okay, they're pretty good, but the Prado's a better, stronger, better engineered car. It's a more solid quality. It's the whole interior. It's not just the mechanicals. It's not just an engine, a transmission, a differential, right? It's everything else, mate. You know, those door trims, those dashboards, the steering wheel, every other component in the vehicle. If you want something that's cheaper and substandard, then that's what you go for. And then there's people watching that are going, oh, but I've got one of them and mine's fine and all that. Yeah, well, it is fine. It'll probably be fine for hundreds of thousands of Ks, maybe. But it's just not as good as a Toyota, okay? It's as simple as that. The engineering and quality, finish, you get what you pay for really with Toyotas. You certainly do. They might make up for it on the parts later, but you know, those air filters, come on Toyota. Those fuel filters, come on, drop the price a little bit, please. You know, they make up for it later maybe, but so that's what I'm trying to say. What about other diesels? So, you know, you can go for this and that. There's all these other diesels. I still think these are the best, you know. So I like the 1KD, but look, if you want to get something new and you want to get a 1GD, then the 2.8 they call it. It's a 2755. I told you, small gutless engine. It's too small for the size of the vehicle, in my opinion. It doesn't matter what numbers they give you, how many kilowatts or how many newton meters. It's already got more kilowatts and newton meters. Why is it then, when I drive one that weighs 2,400 kilos compared to a 1KD that weighs 2,800 kilos, why does the 1KD feel like it goes better? Why does it feel like it accelerates better? Why does it accelerates better, not accelerates? I didn't say that, did I? It was just a bit not clear, but why does it accelerate better? Why does it hold speed when it comes to that slight hill or even bigger hill better? Because it's got more torque, it's got more power. It's just, there's no replacement for cubic displacement. We're getting off topic here a little bit, but it's a bit of a general, what about other diesels and what about, so look, I still like the 1KD. We've got 1KDs, we like it. The 1GD, love the brand new Toyota. It's still the best. The engine, don't get me wrong when I say the engine, I'm sure it's an awesome quality engine and the whole re-engineering and everything, heaps of improvements and all that on a 1KD, but it's too small, okay? So there's your problem there. But it's still the best option. If you have to go buy a new four-wheel drive, value for money, a Prado GX, in my opinion, kicks goals. Okay, what about other diesels? In my opinion, don't touch them. Am I planning to ever buy any other brand of diesel? I don't think so. I don't think I'll ever will. So therefore, you know, if there was a better diesel or something else to try, oh, you know, I'll go get an MUX or I'll go get a whatever else it is. Other brands are going away from diesels. The rest of the world is going away from diesels, right? So what you do, you keep your 1KD, last of the best, and you don't change the damn thing until something better comes along. And there may be a better diesel later, like as if, you know, Toyota, I keep saying, and everybody's on the same page, when are we going to see, I don't know, maybe a 3.2 litre V6 twin turbo, something that pumps out some real torque and some real power that's there when we need it? That would be awesome. You know, even better, I don't mind. We've changed. We don't even want diesels anymore, okay? Toyota, we're not interested in diesels. I want to change back to petrols. I would like a 3.5 litre V6 twin turbo hybrid with a plug on it. I want to be able to plug it in. I want batteries big enough to do 50 Ks a day to get people to work and back or school and the shops and back, this sort of thing, without the engine starting, okay? We want to plug it in using their solar panels during the day, free power, fully renewable, but then when we go away on a big outback trip, that's when the engine starts, highway speeds and longer distances, all that sort of thing. Petrol, and it's efficient. Why is it efficient? Because it's going to have twin turbos. That's where it's going to get its torque from. Petrol engine, like a V6 with twin turbos, is very efficient, okay? So look, guys, what about other diesels? No thanks to any other diesels. In my opinion, stick with your 1KD. I wouldn't move to a 1GD if I was you. Doesn't matter what numbers they give you. 2015, last of the best. Anything else, get a petrol engine, you know. The Territory with a 4 litre 6-cylinder engine Was nothing wrong with it. It was a good value for money vehicle. You could buy a Territory, you know, for about 30. Well, I suppose that was a good price. Bit over 30 grand. Rear wheel drive's all you need. You don't need a full drive Territory. All you're doing is creating more work for yourself, more maintenance later, more problems. Keep it simple. It was a damn Falcon, what everybody else used to buy and drive. But, you know, everybody needed an SUV. So it was a Falcon in the shape of an SUV, right? It was a Prado-shaped Falcon. And it was really good. They're good cars. Those Barra engines, those 4-litre double overhead cam engines, right? 200 kilowatts of power, give or take. They're about somewhere there. You know, a fair bit of torque. They went well. Without towing, they were quite economical. You could easily get around 10 litres per 100 k's out of those, just like the Falcon wagon. For some reason, the sedan used a little bit more, probably aerodynamic type thing, whatever, but you could certainly get about 10, even around town 12. Some people will go, oh, I had one of them and it used 15 or 18. Well, mate, you're in too much of a hurry, mate. As soon as you put your right foot to the floor and then you know, brake accelerator, that's where a petrol engine stop-start is going to chew the fuel. Learn to drive a little bit more nicely. Anyway, guys, that's the answer to what about other diesels. Stuff other diesels. We're moving towards petrols. As soon as something better comes out, I'll have one, I'll test one. When I love it, I'll let you know. When there's something better than a 1KD, the 1KDs will be gone. Actually, you know, they'll be that old now, we'll probably keep them as well anyway, you know what I mean? You know, like antiques. Or off to the family or someone we know that needs a good car because we looked after it so well. And we will get into an awesome petrol engine. Now, I know some people are thinking, what about that 300 series they're talking about? Well, that's right. And they're talking about V6s and hybrids and all this sort of thing and different power outputs. And that sounds good. But in my opinion, it's in the wrong truck. So we wouldn't be going there either. You're going to pay drug money for it. It's probably going to be slightly underpowered in that truck, but we're not sure. We might get one and see. Let's just see what actually turns up in Australia before we get excited about it. And remember, a new engine, it's always worth waiting a few years to see what happens, see how it works out, let them iron out the problems. We might get right into one, but I doubt it. We got a 1GD in 2019, 4 years after they came out. And you know, even in 2018, they were having DPF problems. Is the 2019 going to have DPF problems? Maybe, maybe not, but they've got a 5-7 year warranty. It's all covered anyway, so you kind of don't have to worry about that as much anymore, but it's still going to affect the second and third owners onwards, which is why I think they're not a good idea. And those second, third owner type people, they'll be listening, they'll be learning, and that's going to devalue the vehicle and the resale for you later on those vehicles, okay? So just keep that in mind. So we're still saying, you kind of got your safety net of your warranty. We certainly didn't like it when there was only a 3-year warranty. It's not long enough. People buying vehicles and changing them over too often, not so good, and the second, third owners were going to cop it on DPF problems and the cost that goes with that. But it looks like Toyota's done the right thing and generally covering a lot of DPF problems under warranty as far as what I hear. I'll be keen to see in the comments. There you go, there's something you can comment on if you've had DPF problems where you've found yourself out of pocket and you've had to pay for it. So my answer, no to other diesels, no to a Territory diesel. Get the one with a petrol engine. Lucky if they're worth even 10 grand now. Good cars, not much can go wrong with them. Get the service up to date, cheap for repairs, whatever, you know, bada boom, bada bing. If you haven't already, subscribe. And if you haven't already, there's all your groups and pages. Tick off. If you're in Australia, you'll find those pages. Tick, tick. These are your groups. They're your Oz groups, so you won't get into those unless you're in Oz. And these other groups here, they're for whatever engine you've got, you want information on, and you won't get in the VIP group until you've made a purchase or paid the joining fee. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe. Bada bing, bada boom. We're out of here. And thanks. I hope that was helpful. Thumbs up if it was. Catch you guys. See ya.